Sorry guys. I'm sorry. That was my something happened anyway. So, guys, Madam to Fokang, I mean, this is very important because you are attacking Honorable Larry Sise, and this is someone you have high regard for. This is someone you respected very well. This is someone is highly respected in this country. This is someone he loves the country. This is someone he have served international, far retired. Somebody who works for UN. But you cannot secure a UN job. I mean, if you can able to secure a UN job, one will say you can able to compete Larry. But you cannot. You cannot. So attacking Larry, left and right, that is not something we appoint you for, or attacking whoever. Mr. Sabali, advise the president about the current issues of this country, the current economic status of this country. That's what we expect you to do. You are not only occupying that position just to be there making noise. No. No. That's not your job. That's not your job. We have people in NPP, they can be there attacking people because you have attack dogs. You have attack dogs in NPP. So let those people be there to attack individuals for sure. But talk to people about, you need to understand one thing. We are paying you from the taxpayers' money. Larry have served in the international arena, is well respected. His knowledge, Nadia Mutamobe is educated, and so, because you believe that you've gone to school, you are educated, you are the Gambian pen, but that doesn't mean being a Gambian pen, it focus should be attacking people for the president. Mr. Sabali, one thing you need to understand, there are people in the government, you met them there, but what they are not doing, that's what you're doing. And I keep telling you this. Dunia mu fallen suleti. And whatever you said is it might haunt you tomorrow. You remember I told you were in UDP, you've said a lot. You've said a lot. So I told when you went to NPP, your focus is going to be one thing. Your focus is going to be how to advise the president about the economy. Because remember, we have audios when you were advising the president about the economy, about the financial status of this country. No kalam tajan. No kalam tajan. Now you are in that government. Ibo Banco can say. Niantara Ibo Banco can say. Ibo Palasul to sign. Why not advise the president? Because when you were not in NPP, when you were not in the government, you can advise Coleman. Why can't you advise him those things? Why can't you advise him some of those things? Use your knowledge you have. And for me, I keep telling people, okay, no, Sabali, I will not leave Sabali. Family thing, relationship, friendship will always be there, but I will tell you the truth. Because I always tell you, this Kafuyoko, Mr. Sabali, concentrate on governance. Concentrate on advising the president on issues but that's not what you're doing. That's not what you're doing. And that was not what you were appointed for. Are you telling us that you were appointed for you to be attacking opponents? For you to be in the political arena? No, that's not your purpose. Learn from the past, Mr. Sabali. Learn from the messages you've given out. Or when you were in UDP, the number of attacks on NPP members, the number of attacks on the government. And I heard you say you even regret saying that Alumama. So then you don't believe in your words. My brother, you don't believe in your words. Because if you believe in your words, why going back? You went everywhere. You have gone all over the country telling people, are you going to go all over the country and tell that I lied to you? That's not something you have to do, Mr. Sawali. That's not something you have to do. Advise the president on governance. Advise the president on economy. Advise the president on things that is what you should do. That's what you should do. Because there are other people in NPP all day looking at you like, wow. What he have been doing in UDP, don't allow people to use you all the time, attacking people all the time. Larry is educated. Larry is well known well respected in this country. Nobody is going to point fingers at Lareko is incompetent. And I can remember for he make sure he bring out proofs, evidence. Bring things on evidence. If you are telling us the election in 2021 was not fraud, Mr. Sabali, election in 2021, I'm going to tell us why you think that it was not fraud. Because that's what you told us. That's what you tell many Gambians. Because the election was fraud. So if you're telling us the election was fraud now, telling us now, oh, because you are now even apologizing to the IEC chairman, what's up, my brother? What's up? Me never caring. Me never caring. And I keep telling you, whatever you said, people are going to use it against you. And now you're making a lot of those mistakes again whilst you are in NPP. Sidinjai have said a lot against you. You've said a lot against 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏. You've said a lot against Dr. Sabali. You said a lot against Dr. Sise. And today you are with all those people, my brother. And now again, you are throwing a lot of stones to people. You are throwing stones to Talib Ahmed Bensouda and others. All the time, these are your words. These are your attacks. Focus on what you are appointed for. Your appointment, focus on those things. You tell us that the president, all this road squad making just for kickbacks. That's what you told people. And that's the words we're going to use against you during campaign. If you stand in platform, whatever you said, we're going back to the records and bring your words for people to balance. Balance. I mean, for me, this is what I believe. Your words are going to be our campaign tools. Because you know when in Masembe, your words were the messages I use. For me, I used to tell Kiankas that go Sabale Ninafo when he was in UDP. And today, if he is changing whatever he's telling you, I mean. If I were you, I will concentrate on advising the president on policies. I will concentrate on advising the president on economic matters. I will continue advising the president on the financial status of this country. Because that's what you said you learned. Yola Karang. Yola Karang. Yola Karang. Kanaso. Isn't it? Kanaso. Isn't it? And you keep telling people, no. But look, Kana song, the symbol of Kana song was, when someone was kicked. So when do you know? I don't understand telling me, oh, you don't know the meaning of Kana song. I know the meaning of Kana song. I'm a manding. Kana song for them to use you. Kana song for them to you left them in the okay. But Kana song sontale. Asontale. So my brother, like I keep saying, advise the president on matters. Malialongo Gambians will see, yes, Sabali is making dividends in the government. Because I told you, NPP will not go nowhere else. NPP will not go nowhere else. I tell you this, inshallah. Gambians are wise. Gambians understand. People who are joining NPP are only joining NPP for their personal interest. Like Mr. Fati, you said, look, for the first time in history, someone resigning from a party to another party, cross-carpeting, using his, official, business, letterhead, to resign from a party to another party. And when he was joining UDP, he did not join UDP because, he's a bold driller. He joined UDP because he believes in the policies and the principles of UDP. I thought he will tell us, a lot of men, he is not seeing those things, but that's not the words from Mr. Fati. So, like I said, for me, you have any political party you want to go, you can go. But let's mark our words. Let's make sure that the words we are saying today, tomorrow, those words might be used against us. Moving forward, Mr. President, I am telling you one thing. Momo K advice, telling you, Mr. President, you have to go for third term. I am telling you, Ibela interest le fi nyola. Ibela interest le fi nyola. Remember one thing, Mr. President, I was thrown through here. Senegal. Senegal, ja. More level in Germany along Kava Macky Sall go. Ha no Macky Sall, you have to go. Loi allowle. Constitution allowle. But what happened at the end? Menekata? Macky Sall all those people you can remember for, and what is the reality is completely different. And that was Macky Sall mentioned law election. And today Macky Sall is in Morocco, and you know some of the difficulties Macky Sall face can. So who should force you? You might not force it. You might not you have to go for that. But Mr. President, you have to think about your words. The promise you've given to Gambian people. You betrayed the Gambian people on the 3 years promise. You now saying that you're going to betray the Gambians because of saying that no president will rule this country for more than 10 years. That was your words. Those are not words from anyone. Those were your own words. But because the interest of certain people, that is the reason why you want to continue. That is the reason why you want to rule this country for another time again. But Gambians are getting united. That is not going to happen here in this country. You either force yourself to go into the ballot, and at the end of it, Gambians will decide in the pool. Yeah, you either force yourself to go to the ballot, but at the end of the show, Gambians will decide what will happen in the pool. Gambians are not going to vote for you, Mr. President. That's why, as a brother, as a comrade, as a person, we did the struggle together. I would advise you, Mr. President, don't allow them to baffle you. Kana song ye baffle. Kana song ye muta ye feeling. You don't have support in this country. Because those people, they want to see president. They want to see president. So look, that's not the fact. That's not the reality. People are suffering in their houses. People are pissed off with you. Because we see that the economic status mantra bettering, the health status, the health system mantra bettering, the economy mantra bettering, the agricultural system mantra bettering, the development bettering is the development of kickback. Kickback will you people are only feeding on kickbacks. That's what something Gambian call Mr. President. You have to understand that. So don't allow them to force you. Don't allow them to baffle you. Don't allow them to put you into something is not going to benefit you, Mr. President. Humbly resign. Humbly call for an election at the end of your term. Don't go into the pool. Don't allow yourself to be on the ballots. Because it's not going to favor you. It's not going to help you, Mr. President. What happened to Macky Sall might happen to you. And that's not something should happen to you. Mr. President, remember you have a family. Remember you have people you're feeding. Mr. President, think about some of the presidents in Africa, they forced themselves to stay in power. What is happening to them today? Remember about some of the presidents, they forced themselves to stay in power. What is happening to them? Don't allow such to happen to you, Mr. President. That is why we always come out to advise you as a brother. And whenever we are advising, they say an enemy advising an opponent. You are not my enemy, Mr. President, and you will never be my enemy, but you are my opponent, and I will always come out to tell you that you are my opponent. I will never look at you as an enemy. You are not my enemy. I will say this to people. But you are my president, and I feel like you should not overstay in power. And I feel like Banco Montatakang Kuke. And this is something is the message from every patriotic Gambian Kajoko. You cannot rule this country Banco Sambanola. You have to give this country to the people they can able to take this country to the promised land. The Gambia are 60. And the Gambia is going to 80s. Gambia is going, and we are late. Until later, Bangkok are developing. The economy of Bangkok are growing. Until the economy is going down. Take an example of Burkina Faso. Take an example of other part of Africa. Senegal is transforming. Their economy is booming. Their agricultural system is booming. Their health system is booming. Their energy system is booming. But until the energy system is not going anywhere. Mr. President, think about this. You cannot do it. That's what you told people. And I believe, Mr. President, you cannot do it. You cannot do it, Mr. President. And don't allow them to tell you, yes, you can do it. But I say, Mr. President, you cannot do it. So this is just a little advice, Memen Dikela as a brother, and a little advice Memen Dikan to my brother, Mr. Mamadou Sabali, for him to understand ko dunia mu falin suleti. Dunia mu falin suleti. Anu adama dungo ishe yimba mbe dunia a wall of VAR mbe wala kono. Dunia me ya lonko kelo kuma kan samon na ya fo ko kunu nyina fo jang kunu go nyina fo jang but bi la nyina fo kan bimbe o dunia la kono bimbe o wall la kono today, and every one of us need to be very careful that ko one day or the other we will be VAR, even VAR one day or the other. So we should be very careful of our utterance. Na kuma kanolu na fo kanolu na ke kolu nyanda kan haklo tuto bakele. And if you come to Islam, misil mayay minefo. Misil mayay minefo. Misil mayay minefo lahidoto. Akfu behaidi. And misil mayay minefo lahidoto. Anama dungo me ya lonko ye lahido timmandi. E lahido fo e ma timmandi. Misil mayay minefo to. Let's come back to that. Moral. Mr. President, moral. Imagine you are leading people. Ibejibe kankapogo. Ninan kariti karme ya lonko. A nina fo mole kunum. Bere afele bi abada falinkang. That's the moral aspect of it. But think about the number of Gambians crying. Kabugo, Mr. President, we are suffering because of you. But in dunya, imagine those people looking at you, those people facing at you. Imagine facing with those people, those who are crying for survival, those who are crying because they don't have what to eat. Those who are crying because they don't have, enough health benefit from your government. Mr. President, think about all these things as a brother. If you humbly resign, one could think about the past. Let's go, let the bygone be bygone and we move on. Let the bygone be bygone and we move on, Mr. President. But you have to understand, for you understand, my brother. It's enough, it's enough. Yeah, Alpha Sindile, you go, constitutional. But Mr. President, I'm telling you, that was your words. 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏 festa. How are you going to tell them? How are you going to speak in their face? You didn't 3 years job na yeminefo. That is why I said, I believe your family will advise you. I believe, your well-wishers will advise you. But I believe all what you are doing is just because you want to make sure the system move. But I believe, Mr. President, atel Lola. That's my belief, because you are not going to stand as a candidate. Because I know ite from Bulala Kuko no me alonko ite from Bondla no J. That's my belief. That is my belief. That you are there because you don't want to tell your people I am leaving. Every one of them will start stealing our money. Every one of them will start rebuilding themselves. That's the big reason, or that is the main reason you did not tell Gambian people we are not going to contest in the next election. But I believe you are not going to contest. And that is best for you. That is good for you. That is something is going to help you, Mr. President. Me talking to you, they will say to you, I'm your enemy, but I am not. And I keep repeating this, I will never be your enemy. But I am your opponent. I don't look at you as an enemy. And I will never look at you as an enemy. And I respect you, and I keep the respect between us. But don't allow yourself to be forced or to be fooled by people. They are only looking at their personal interests. But they are not looking at the development of this country. They are not looking at this country. They are not looking at the poor people. For around the Syrian soul, I don't want to name names, but some of the people in your government, they know, yes. Look at Dr. 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏. What were some of his utterances against you? Against you. Dr. Cisse, Akakuma Kamal Melf against you when he was not in the government. So like Dr. Cisse, all what he was saying, he was just saying it because he wants to be a president, to be there eating like the way you're eating. Because now he accept and is accomplishing whatever you are doing in that seat. Because what you were doing when he was speaking, you are doing worse of that today. But Dr. Cisse is now, accomplishing that, is now, applauding you for all what you are doing. When he was the very one, Mayor Lonko, he sat in platforms talking against you, saying all sorts of things against you. Why he is talking, why he is praising you today? Because he is eating from the cake. He is eating from the cake. Mr. President, sometimes you need to sit and review some of these things. Yeah, review, yeah, understand. You will later understand what we are saying. You will later understand, because we are not your enemy and we will never be your enemy. Your Excellency, Mr. President. Because these are people, they were saying all sorts of words against you. But I know, Adamadi Yabe Nyame, Nisita, and when you look at them, or when you listen to their old stories, and today what they are saying to you, you'll understand that these people are people, they were only hungry because they want to come to your government. They want to be in your seat. But actually, they don't mean their words. They don't mean their words. That takes me to leadership. They don't mean their words. But thank God that those people are exposed before getting to power. They are exposed. Gambians people know them. The majority of Gambians know them. And the patriotic people in this country understand, these are people, they are not there for the interest of this government, but they are there for their personal interest. The like of Dr. Sabali, the like of Dr. Cisse, the like of Mr. Sabali, the like of Sidinjai, the like of Tombonjata, all what they are saying against you in the past when they were not in your government, and today, the way they are praising you, they don't mean their words. They don't mean their words. These are just few advices I have for the president, for his advisors, for the people around him, as a brother, as an ex-comrade, as a person, we struggle together to remove one of the worst dictators in the history of Africa. We mean it when we were doing the struggle, and yet still we mean it. We have to fight to salvage this country. 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, thanks for joining us. Thanks for sharing the program. 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏, I don't know how to do it. The program is sharing by 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏. Armadi momentima, na fem for me along ko anin saabo man ben. Alma Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yamfunye. Na fem for me along ko wala ni saabo benta. Alma fennet me along ko ala la kandoleti ndol jongole. Ba fala le ko 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒏. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa ta'ala wa barakatuh.